Welcome to another Hero Arts video. Today I'm going to share a video all about ATCs. ATCs is one of the current themes for this month's competition over at Hero Arts. If you don't know anything about ATCs, they are called artist trading cards. They usually measure 2.5 by 3.5 inches. As you can see here, I've used a scrap piece of paper to trim down and show you the size of an ATC. They're super fun and quick to make, and usually people create these and trade off with other people. Now I'm going to actually show you how easy it is to trim 10 ATC cards out of a Hero Arts layering paper. As you can see here in a grid form, I've actually drawn on 10 ATC cards that can be trimmed. Here are two of the ATC cards that I have created. And this is the one that we will be making today. Sharing the stamps we'll be using: 4 flowers, flowing leaves and flowers, and the sentiment coming from All Occasion Messages stamp set. Next, the pattern paper that we'll be using is from the new Hero Arts Basic Grey line, and that's called Hello Lushes. Now I've already cut down an ATC prior to this, and as you can tell, I used Hero Arts layering paper, but we'll be using the back side of it, which is white. Next, taking the background stamp and some Versamark ink, we're going to ink up the stamp well so that it's got good coverage of ink. Taking my ATC and placing onto the stamp, holding with one hand and applying pressure with the other to get a good stamped image. Taking the ATC off and using some white embossing powder, which I keep in this handy little container, just easy for storage and cleanup. And applying some white embossing powder to the ATC. Just tapping off any excess that might be there. And once all the embossing powder's on, we're going to heat emboss. As you can see here. Setting that aside, and now we're going to work on the flowers. And taking some pattern paper and the stamps, placing the stamp onto an acrylic block and inking it up with some Versamark ink, then stamping directly onto the pattern paper. Applying some white embossing powder, and tapping off any excess. Just want to set this aside and work on the other flower, which is the small one. And once again, the same process, inking it up with some Versamark ink and stamping onto the pattern paper, and then applying white embossing powder. Now we're going to heat set these, and this is the end result. Now we're going to assemble our ATC, and first off we're going to put the flower together by adding a foam dimensional to the centre of the small flower and adhering it to the large flower. Taking our ATC and some more foam dimensionals, which will be placed on the back of the large flower, and just peeling the backs of those off. Now taking the flower and adhering it to the ATC. Next we're going to actually work on the sentiment. As you can see here, this is what we're going to create. So taking my trimmer and some red cardstock, Just trimming enough to fit the base of the actual ATC. Then taking the sentiment from the All Occasion Messages stamp set, which is called Hello Friend. Applying this to an acrylic mount. And as you can see here, I like to use an acrylic mount that actually has guidelines. It just helps with knowing where to position the stamp. Inking the stamp up with Versamark ink and stamping straight onto the cardstock. Next we'll add some white embossing powder and then we'll heat set this. As you can see here. Now we'll adhere this to our ATC using some adhesive. And just positioning the stamped sentiment to where I wish it to be. Now as you can see, we have some excess cardstock hanging over the edge of the ATC, so we're just going to trim that off with our scissors. And there we have it. That's our ATC that we created today. And here is a still shot of the actual ATC. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and please visit Hero Arts for more information.